Nathan was right about this place.
From is a show that will have you going through each episode frame by frame, trying to figure out how every detail ties up. It will leave you gripping the edge of your seat as you watch the horrors unfold on screen. The town where the characters live is a bleak, unpredictable place, with new dangers constantly emerging. The ghoulish kids, while scary, seem more like they need help than harm. According to the show's creators, every character has a purpose in the town. The latest season revealed more about these purposes, but the biggest mystery is the chosen one, the person destined to save everyone trapped there. So, who could it be? Let's dive in. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
I'm sorry. This is the only way.
Tabitha Matthews. I had a feeling that Tabitha could be the chosen one from the beginning of the second season. She is extremely motherly and caring. From the very first time we see her on screen, you can tell that she loves her kids, and a mother's love is a force to be reckoned with, right? Even though when we first see her, she is on a trip with her family to Yellowstone National Park as a last hurrah before the divorce. There's a lot more going on. You can see Tabitha does not want her kids to learn about the separation and the stress between her and her husband Jim. She repeatedly tries to mend whatever that is broken, but the bitterness and the strain on the relationship between the partners become evident. However, after getting trapped in this horrifying town, things started changing in the family. Tabitha, at first, could not understand why her daughter Julie was pushing her away, and why Jim refused to understand and accept the gravity of the situation they were stuck in. But over time, the family actually started sticking together. We realized that Thomas's death has haunted Tabitha ever since, and she keeps hearing the boy's cries from the room, even though he is gone. Losing the child made her so numb that she let herself go, forcing Julie to take care of Ethan, the younger one of the two, straining the mother-daughter relationship. We actually get to see the family healing and slowly coming together, which makes their separation even more unbearable. In the second season of the show, Tabitha is often haunted by the visions of the ghoulish kids. They kept saying, "Angui," which did not make much sense to her until she spoke with Victor. Although he could not explain anything about the kids and Angui, he recalled his mother saying something about saving the children on the night she died. Hearing that, Tabitha felt that since the children were repeatedly showing up in front of her, maybe they wanted her to help them out of the tower, which is the lighthouse that Victor's sister, Eloise, painted. When Julie became one of the 3 victims of the music box monster, Tabitha decided that despite all odds, she had to make the journey to the lighthouse and save the ghoulish kids, as it might just save her daughter. When she went there, she was thrown off the lighthouse by the enigmatic entity known as the Boy in White. The next time she opened her eyes, she was in Camden, Maine, in the outside world. Luckily for her, the lunchbox that Victor packed her snacks in had his full address, and when Tabitha showed up there, she met with Victor's father, Henry. At first, Henry did not believe Tabitha and her story about the mysterious township, the township where his son, who has been missing for 40 years, is trapped. But when she mentioned the kids locked in the tower, Henry believed her, as his wife, too, had talked about it before. They went to the basement where Henry had kept all of his wife's drawings in episode 2, and this is where we learn that Tabitha is amongst the chosen ones. Since no one managed to escape the town until now but her, Henry hypothesized that it could mean she was chosen to be the savior and eventually guide all the townsfolk out of that hellhole the same way she got out. Miranda Kavanagh. Okay, look, in season 2, when I heard that Victor's mother went off to save the children, I had a feeling that she and Tabitha pretty much had the same arc. However, in the third season's second episode, the history that we learned about Miranda literally blew my mind. So back in the day, Miranda and Henry were hippies. They dabbled quite a bit into hard drugs and alcohol, but when they learned that they were expecting a baby, as in Victor, they stopped. Then, Eloise was born, and life got in the way of the couple. On Henry's 35th birthday, Miranda surprised him with a blast from the past, a tab of acid. She sent the kids away to their grandparents, and she wanted both of them to experience the joy they once shared in their youth one last time. But ever since that trip, Miranda started hallucinating and hearing things. Maybe her spiritual doors opened, and now she could finally hear the calling of the township. Miranda paints everything she sees in her visions and describes her hallucinations to Henry, but Henry cannot understand much. She told him about a tower with children locked in it, and that she was the one who had chosen to save them, but she is not the first. There have been many more before her, but none of them managed to succeed. We see the ghoulish kids in her paintings, and the lighthouse, so it is pretty evident what she is referring to. She also described the town in detail, talking about how once people enter, they cannot leave. they hold on to hope. And when the hope is lost, they hold on to each other. And yes, you can see the whole town, diner and everything in her paintings. She also drew the boy in white, the faraway trees, a man in a yellow suit, the creatures that come out at night, and the talismans, and a lot more. So in a way, Miranda already knew what she was getting into when she eventually got trapped in the town. That actually explains how she knew that the bottle tree is a special faraway tree that would always take people to the lighthouse. However, sadly, Miranda was not successful in this quest either. That night, Miranda asked Victor and Eloise to stay inside the root cellar and remain there until morning. Only Victor stayed inside, as Eloise went after Miranda pretty soon. The next morning, when Victor came out, he found the entire town massacred. He looked for his mother and eventually found her lying in front of the bottle tree. Since Miranda failed, Tabitha was chosen. Now you might wonder, does every mother trapped in the town get chosen? I do not think so. I mean, the Pratt family had a child, but I don't think Lauren was going to be chosen. Then why Miranda and Tabitha? Could it be that both of these women share some sort of connection? I mean, we did see Miranda wear a bracelet that is awfully similar to the one Tabitha made for Jim. The Matthews lost the bracelet when Julie was born, but this bracelet ended up in the mysterious township. There are a lot of theories about how the Matthews and the Kavanagh families are connected. One of the most popular ones being that maybe Miranda pushed Eloise to the bottle tree first, and Eloise went in with her mother's bracelet in her hand. She reached the lighthouse and ended up in the real world. But the trauma of this whole place had her shaken up, and she could not give the necessary details about her father. So she ended up in the system and got eventually adopted and led a pretty normal life. Then she had a baby who is, you guessed it, Tabitha. I know. You guys would point out the thick accent Tabitha's mother has. Well, if we are going off this hypothetical, what if Eloise was adopted by a Colombian family? That would explain the accent, right? Let us know what you think about this theory down below. The Civil War soldier. Miranda mentioned other chosen ones to Henry, but she never specified they were all women. Now, why did we add this civil soldier into this list? Well, A, because Jade had been hallucinating about him for a while, and B, Miranda actually painted the soldier. Let me recap the hallucination bit for you, as it was way back in the first season. We know that ever since getting trapped in the mysterious town, our super rich software engineer, Jade Herrera, seems to have been going on his own journey. Despite seeing a dead body under a boulder, screaming at him, and disappearing in a second, Jade was in his own Delulu world. He refused to believe anything anyone told him until Kenny, the deputy of the town, showed him the body of his friend Toby. After seeing that body, Jade started believing in the dangers of this town. But Jade is not one of those people who like sitting around, doing nothing. With his healthy imagination, he built up a software company from scratch, and he believed that he would be able to figure out a way out of this town. He decides that he would make a radio and manages to get Jim to go along with his plan. Although they had their issues, Jim decides to help out Jade and climbs the tree holding the antenna high in the sky, hoping to catch a signal. While Jade stood on the ground and kept watch, he suddenly saw his hand covered in blood. He looked up to see several bodies of Civil War soldiers hanging from the branches with their blood dripping all over him. When Jade turns around, he sees another Civil War soldier aiming at him. Not wasting another second, Jade ran into the forest as the soldier kept firing at him. The soldier goes after him and manages to catch up to Jade. When he trips and falls, the soldier bayonets him, freaking Jade out completely. Luckily, Jim showed up at the right time to snap him out of it. Now you could say that it does not prove anything, but I think saving the children is directly connected with the symbol that Jade sees on the tree in this particular scene. The Civil War soldiers were also trapped in the town at some point, and maybe this one-eyed soldier in particular saw the symbol. But instead of going on an investigation like Jade did, maybe he thought the sacrifices would help the kids, because in the second season, Jade entered the tunnel to see the symbol, and he saw a vision of all the ghoulish children laying on what seemed to be sacrificial beds. What do you guys feel about the Civil War soldier as the chosen one? Is the boy in white also chosen one? When it comes to the boy in white, things are a bit foggy. It is clear that he is an entity that is beneficial to the townsfolk, as he pointed out the faraway tree for Victor on the night of the colony house attack, as well as for Sarah when the storm approached her and Boyd. However, given that Boyd ended up with the bloodworms and brought the music box monster and the cicadas to the town due to the boy in white's guidance, it has me doubting him quite a bit. In Miranda's drawings, she did paint the boy in white, but not as a child. The boy looked much older in the painting. After the night of the massacre, when Victor stepped out of the root cellar, he saw the boy in white in the town. Although the boy in white kept Victor company for quite a while, after some time, Victor did not see him anymore until Ethan arrived. Ever since his arrival in town, the boy in white clearly tried to befriend Ethan, and when he told Victor about the boy, the two went into the forest looking for him. When Tabitha reached the lighthouse, the boy in white threw her off the place after apologizing about it. He also showed up in front of her when Tabitha was completely clueless in the streets of Camden, Maine. Now, I personally do not think he is the chosen one, but I do think that he plays a crucial role in what is happening around the town. In the underground tunnels, when Victor and Tabitha are making their escape, there is a huge drawing on the cave walls. You have this giant red entity surrounded by humans and birds and whatnot. In that drawing, you would see the 7 sacrificial beds of the ghoulish kids near the feet of the entity. I think we can all agree that this entity is evil, but we have not seen it on screen. Could it be that the boy in white is the evil entity putting on a facade to get people to trust him? Maybe the boy's goal is to twist people into doing wrong things, and given that he shows up in white and looks almost harmless, people believe him. Maybe the boy does the helpful things that he has so far just to trap people further into the town. I mean, he is literally the reason why Boyd got the worms. But then again, he also helped Tabitha, Victor, and Julie. So maybe he is the one who balances out the evil entity present in town. Even though he is not as powerful as the evil entity, he does his best to help out wherever he can. What do you guys think? Marvelous verdict. The 3rd season of From definitely has me extremely curious about this mysterious town. Learning that both the theories regarding the Chosen One and cycles being repeated have been proven right really makes me happy. Maybe the dates we saw on the wall of the lighthouse are the dates when a Chosen One was brought into the town to save the kids. I am genuinely excited for the next episode of the show, and hopefully, by the end of this season, we will have a better idea about how to save these kids in this wretched town. With that, we come to an end to our video. Until next time, take care. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
It's angry now. You have to get inside. Over there.